welcome to today's show. I'm gonna have a special guest here today. My son Dean. He's gonna help me make the cake. Alright, do you want to know what kind of cake we're making?
Well, there's a lot of fruit snacks. So, a fruit snack cake?
Close. We're gonna make Pirate's Booty. Are you ready to make a Pirate's Booty cake? Arr! To kick things off, the first task for my special guest is to separate the dinosaur from the shark gummies. He does a pretty good job separating them. The job has its challenges for a 10-year-old, but I would like to think that Dean knows how to overcome his obstacles. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I even gave him 2 bowls, because all the sharks are going into one bowl and very few of the dinos are going into the other. Dean.
Yeah.
What is gluten?
Gluten is the thing I can't have, and I haven't been able to have it for, I think, 3 years.
Oh, yes, that's the correct answer, but what is it?
It's a biohazardous napalm bomb. Something God! I'm glad you're excited. Uh-huh.
Alright, Dean, do you know how to lock this?
No.
Okay, now put it on the lowest setting.
It is on the list.
Can I do it? Yes.
Little 1 teaspoon by...
That's a tablespoon. That's not.
These ones are super gentle.
I want to put it in.
Never. She put it in.
Did you hear about the latest pirate movie?
Nope.
It was rated R.
Oh, I know that.
Well, Dina's gone to bed, and it's up to me to finish decorating the rest of this cake. We've got some gluten-free sandwich cookies here for crumbs. I'm making the frosting. I'm gonna have all this information in the description. Gotta separate the frosting into 2 batches so that we can make 1/2 of it chocolate, and we're gonna reserve the rest to be a blue color, which you'll see in a bit. Here's the dyeing that I use for it. And when I feel like this is a good color blue, I kind of lay off, but there's my husband swiping the frosting. Here's a number 12 tip, and this is how I like to put it in the piping bag. I've got a nice trick here with the mason jar, so I can do it hands-free. Just a little efficiency I've learned over time. And then you twist it up, and you put this little twisty maneuver. That's a Wilton tool, and you can squeeze it up real nice. Here's how I take the pans out. I've got 3 of them in this recipe, 3 8-inch cake rounds. This girl should be in bed. And when they're cool enough to handle from the freezer, I can trim them. I split them in half. I sort of trim them in half, so there's 6 layers, 3 8-inch rounds and 6 layers total. And I take those middle layers because I'm thinking, hey, you know, I'll put a little hole in the middle for the Pirate's Booty treasure. Here's the treasure. I've got it all ready to go. My cake rounds are all cooled off, and boy, am I ever excited to get this assembled. Later on, I decided that I wanted there to be more space for treasure, so I cut a hole in some extra layers of the cake. So instead of just the 2 middle ones, I've got 4 of them with holes in them. So it's a nice big hole. And then I kind of just keep on stacking things up. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just sort of winging it with this because I don't exactly know what I'm doing with this recipe. So as you can see in a bit, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a dance here, a delicate dance. I've got what I believe to be my last layer, and I'm about to put a little crumb coat. I was like, why am I putting that on top? Because I haven't even put my treasure on the inside. So I'm just really not sure what kind of steps I'm taking because this is the first time I've made it. So, you know, I'm just sort of guessing at this point. This is the crumb coat. The crumb coat is a nice thin layer that keeps the crumbs from getting on the outer layer. And I feel like that looks pretty good. So I'm putting it in the freezer. In the meantime, I'm setting aside a little bit of frosting for that top layer to stick on the top. You'll see what I mean in a second. And I'm using the leftover frosting to make a little bit of cake pop material. As you can see, I can roll it up. I'm going to be using that later. Here's my fruit leather strips, which I'm going to use to make my axe. You've got to use a nice sharp knife. Try not to cut yourself. And I'm doing like little curve shapes here, because I want my X to look extra piratey. Extra piratey. Looks pretty good. All right, my cake is, the crumb coat layer is done. And boy, I'm excited to get these treasures in here, man, oh man. And I'm thinking, you know what would make it more realistic is putting a little bit of this, crumb mixture on top, like you're digging on an island and you got some sand and you just keep digging for treasure. So then I realized I really should continue that up to the top, and so I cut a hole in the top layer because I'm telling you, I don't really know what I'm doing the first time around here, but this is a good decision, I think, in my opinion. But unfortunately, now I have to put a new crumb coat layer on there, and even though I'm real excited to get this decorated, I gotta put it back in the freezer and wait for it to get cold again. Once it's the crumb coat layer is completely ready to go, nice and hard, not gonna smear, definitely not gonna smear with this blue frosting that I want on the outside, then I can put my outer layer on. This is supposed to look like water. I'm sort of encroaching upon my my little circle there, but I don't want to get too close. Oh, here is the waves. I like this detail. This was something that I'm pretty happy with, and you just sort of like smooth it up and kind of blend it into the side. Here's a nice little side. You know what? It's ugly, so I'm scraping it off because I don't like it. And what I'm gonna do is this sort of a texture right here, where you just spin the offset spatula on there. Ooh, I like that texture. So then I tried to put some waves on the bottom of it, but I hated that too, so I had to scrape it off. So then I add the shark gummies that Dean separated for me. That looks pretty awesome. Later on, the sharks are going to be the first thing to go when the kids get to eat this. And then I add my cake pop looking mixture for boulders. And then I spread out my crumb mixture to make the rest of the island, and outline the crumb mixture with some more frosting. Here's the X to mark the spot. So here's my pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow, and I'm just gonna set him right in there. Looks good. But he looks a little, doesn't look piratey enough to me, so I'm gonna add these golden pearl looking things. Kind of look like he just got done burying the treasure and he's gonna make off with the rest of it. Yeah, so that looks like the final cake right there. Pretty good stuff. Oh, and here's a pose shot. Dean in the morning got to see the decorated cake, and those darn X's are at it again for him. But overall, this makes a good looking cake for a pirate party. Yeah, it's got the treasure turned out better than I could have imagined. I really like how the treasure looked with the sand coming down, and it doesn't look too bad when you slice it and serve it either. So thank you for watching this episode, and if you feel so inclined, please subscribe.